Good day to all of you. Welcome to Easy Physics. Learn physics as easy as 1, 2, 3. Through this video, we are going to discuss one important derivation, which is finding electric field due to a thin sheet of charge as an application of Gauss theorem, which is meant for students of class 12. Through our previous videos, we have already discussed about proof of Gauss theorem and electric field due to infinitely long straight conductor. Hope all of you might have watched it. If not, please do visit my channel and watch the videos on Gauss theorem and electric field due to infinitely long straight conductor. Before we start today's derivation, as we always do, let us grab the mathematical tools and let us keep it ready before we start the derivation. They are nothing but the value of cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0. Cross-sectional area of cylinder, as we know that for a cylindrical shape, cross-section will be in the form of circle, right? That is why its area will be pi r square. Direction of electric field will be always away from positive charge and towards negative charge. And we also know dot product of two vectors, vector A dot vector B, will be equal to AB cos theta, where theta is the angle between the two vectors, right? And we've already studied the mathematical expression for Gauss theorem, which is nothing but phi E is equal to surface integral E dot ds, where phi E stands for electric flux, surface integral E dot ds, which will be equal to Q by epsilon 0. Q is the total charge enclosed within the surface. And we also know the relation between charge and surface charge density will be Q is equal to sigma A. By keeping all these tools with us, let us go to the derivation of electric field due to a thin plane sheet of charge. Let us consider a thin sheet of charge. Here I am going to take a positively charged sheet. The same derivation can be done by using a negatively charged sheet as well. Only difference will be in the direction. The magnitude of electric field by considering positive charge or negative charge is going to be the same. The final equation will be the same, only direction will be different. So here for convenience, we are taking a positively charged thin plane sheet. Let us take the surface charge density as sigma. In order to apply Gauss theorem, we need to have a Gaussian surface, right? Here, a cylinder which is passing through the sheet can be considered as a proper Gaussian surface, like this. The cylinder is having a radius r and let L be the length of the cylinder. To apply Gauss theorem, we need to have some area segments. I'm going to consider three area segments, one on either side of the cross section and one on the curved surface. Let us take the first area A, which is lying on one of the cross section. As we know, area is a vector quantity. It do have a direction, right? Direction of area will be always perpendicular to the surface, directed outwards. So direction of area will be like this, that is from left to right. And we know electric field will be always away from positive charge. The sheet is this, so away from the sheet means this will be the direction of electric field. The same way, we can consider another area segment B, which is lying on the opposite cross section of the cylinder. Its direction will be, let us consider B, its direction also will be perpendicular, directed outwards. Direction of electric field will be away from the sheet. It can be marked as is shown in the diagram. Consider another cross-section area, which is C, lying on the curved surface of the cylinder. Direction of area will be perpendicular, directed outwards. Electric field will be away from the positive charge. So this is the sheet we are considering. Away from the charge means this will be the direction of electric field. So we have considered three area segments and the corresponding direction of electric field against each of these areas has been marked. Hope the diagram is very clear to all of you. After the diagram, we are now ready to do our derivation. We can use Gauss theorem to do the derivation of this. What is the mathematical expression of Gauss theorem? It is nothing but phi E is equal to surface integral E dot ds. Now, our Gaussian surface, which is the cylinder, is being split into three area segments, right? A, B, and C. So the same way, the integral also can be split into three different integrals. That is, total surface integral can be split and written as surface integral E dot ds over the surface A plus surface integral E dot ds over the surface B plus surface integral E dot ds over the surface C. As we know, dot product of two vectors E dot ds will be equal to what? It's E ds cos theta, where theta should be the angle between E and ds. For the first area segment A, look at the diagram. E and ds are having the same direction, right? Which means the angle between E and ds for the surface area A will be 0. So you can write E ds cos 0 plus for the surface B. B is over here. As you can see, direction of ds and E is going to be the same direction, which means angle will be 0 there as well. Second term will be E ds over the surface B cos 0 plus over the surface C. This is surface C. As you can see here, direction of electric field and area vector is having an angle 90 degree. So for the third one, you can write surface integral E ds cos 90, which will be equal to, as we know, values of cos 0 is 1 and cos 90 is 0. Since cos 90 is 0, this term is going to be cancelled. Okay. E ds cos 0 is 1. So E ds plus E ds means you can take 2E as common factor outside, integral ds. Integral ds means over the surface A and B, which means it is going to be the cross-sectional area of the cylinder. What is the equation for cross-sectional area of the cylinder? Yes, it is nothing but pi r square. So you can write 2E into pi r square. This is the value of E dot ds. Surface integral E dot ds, we got it as 2E into pi r square. Now we have to find out what is going to be Q by epsilon 0, which can be written in terms of surface charge density. As I told you, Q is sigma into A. A means pi r square. Here sigma is nothing but surface charge density. So you can equate the LHS and RHS. LHS we already got, it is 2E into pi r square, and RHS is going to be sigma pi r square divided by epsilon 0. So here this pi r square and pi r square can be cancelled. You will get the equation for electric field as E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon 0. This is the equation for electric field due to a thin plain sheet of charge. Clear? Now, let us have a small analysis of the value of electric field. As you can see, direction of electric field intensity will be normal to the plane and away from the positive charge distribution. If we have taken a negatively charged sheet, then its direction will be towards the plane. That's it. Value will be sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Direction will be away from positive charge or it will be towards negative charge. It will be normal to the plane sheet. One more thing you can notice here, when we considered the Gaussian surface, I told you that let us take a Gaussian surface having radius r and length L. But in our final equation, neither r appear or L appears, right? Which means the electric field intensity is independent of the size of the Gaussian surface, and it neither depends on the distance of the point also. It is going to be a constant. As you know, sigma is a constant, epsilon 0 is also a constant. So electric field due to a plane sheet of charge does not depend on the point of our consideration. Around the sheet, at every point, electric field is going to be a constant value. Is it clear now? Now, the same thing can be applied if you have two parallel sheets of charge. As I told you, this is one of the very, very important derivation as far as your class 12th board exams is concerned. Along with this derivation, as part of the long answer question, there can be sub-questions to find out the total electric field due to two plane parallel sheets. We can do that also, right? Which is going to be electric field intensity due to two parallel infinitely long thin plane sheets of charge. I'm going to consider case 1, which is having two positively charged sheets. One is having surface charge density sigma 1, another one with surface charge density sigma 2. Let us take sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2. For the first sheet of charge, as we all know, electric field direction will be away from positive. So in this region, direction, in both the regions, on left side as well as on right side, direction of electric field has to be marked moving away from the sheet. So this is the direction of electric field due to the first sheet. Consider a second sheet which is having surface charge density sigma 2. This also will be having electric field. Let us name the electric field due to the second one as E2. Its direction also will be away from the charge, right? So this is going to be the direction of electric field E2, which is due to the second sheet of charge. We are going to find out net electric field in three of the regions. Let us take this as region 1, which is lying over here. As you can see, in region 1, there are two electric fields, E1 and E2. Both of them are acting along the same direction. When two vectors are acting along the same direction, its total electric field will be sum of the two, right? E1 will be equal to what? Sigma 1 by 2 epsilon 0. E2 will be sigma 2 by 2 epsilon 0. So total electric field can be written as sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon 0. Hope it is very clear. Just because E1 and E2 are acting along the same direction. Consider the second region, region 2. Here, E1 direction is from left to right, whereas E2 direction is from right to left, which means they are two vectors acting in the opposite direction. When two vectors are acting in the opposite direction, resultant will be difference between the two. We have to write the bigger one first minus the smaller one. We have taken sigma 1 as bigger, right? So net electric field in region 2 is going to be E1 minus E2, which will be sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon 0. Consider the third region. As you can see here, E1 is from left to right, E2 is also from left to right. Same direction means net field can be found out by taking sum of the two. That is, total electric field is going to be E1 plus E2, which will be sigma 1 plus sigma 2 divided by 2 epsilon 0. Hope this is very clear to all of you. Let us take another special case, case number 2, where we have one of the sheet is having positively charged sheet, another one is negatively charged sheet. For that, let us consider first sheet, sigma 1. Direction of electric field will be away from positive charge. Hope it is very clear to all of you. Consider a second sheet of charge, but this is negatively charged sheet. Its direction has to be pointing towards the sheet on all the sides. So this is how E2 direction can be marked, right? Here also we can find out net electric field in three of the regions. Consider region 1. Here, as you can see, there are two vectors, but what is the speciality of these two vectors? They are acting in the opposite direction. So net electric field has to be difference between the two. We have to take bigger one minus smaller one. Bigger one will be sigma 1 by 2 epsilon 0 minus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon 0. Hope it is very, very clear to all of you, right? Consider the second region, region 2. Here, there are two vectors, E1 and E2. As you can see, both of them are acting along the same direction. When two vectors are acting along the same direction, resultant will be sum of the two. So, sigma 1 by 2 epsilon 0 plus sigma 2 by 2 epsilon 0. Consider the third region. By now, you will be doing it much ahead of me, right? There are two vectors, E1 and E2, they are acting along the opposite direction. So resultant has to be difference between the two. That is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2 epsilon 0. Let us consider the final third case in which we have two sheets which are having equal and opposite surface charge densities. In previous two cases, we have taken sigma 1 and sigma 2, which means both the sheets are having different value of surface charge density. Now let us consider the sheets are having equal surface charge densities but opposite in nature. First sheet is having sigma, it's positively charged, direction of electric field will be this way, away from the charge. Second one, sigma 2, but it's going to be same in magnitude, okay? Direction of electric field for this is also going to be towards negative charge, right? Now we can find out electric field in three regions as we were doing for the previous two cases. Consider region 1. In region 1, electric fields are E1 and E2. They are acting in the opposite direction. Since the surface charge densities are equal, we can write sigma by 2 epsilon 0 minus sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Two equal and opposite vectors will cancel each other, right? So net electric field here is going to be 0. Whereas in region 2, we have a non-zero electric field because it is going to be E1 plus E2, which will be 2 sigma by 2 epsilon 0. In region 3, we will be having electric field as 0 because here also we have two equal and opposite electric fields. So in region 1, electric field will be 0. In region 2, it will be sigma by epsilon 0. The reason is here we have sigma by 2 epsilon 0 plus sigma by 2 epsilon 0. Half plus half will be 1, right? So sigma by epsilon 0. In the third region, again, we are having two equal but opposite vectors. Therefore, its net electric field is going to be 0. Hope this topic is very, very clear to all of you. We have done the derivation on how to find out electric field due to a single plain sheet of charge, and by using that formula, we can apply some special case to find out electric field due to parallel sheets of charge. Hope this topic of physics is becoming very, very easy for you now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.